Good evening, friends. My name is Steve Peterson, and my pronouns are they, them. One of the main reasons I always introduce myself with my pronouns is to help people understand me and learn a little bit more about me. I am a gender-diverse human being. I identify as non-binary. The system we live in is a very binary system where everyone believes that there's male and female, there's pink and blue, there's masculinity and femininity. But I'm a beautiful blend of both masculinity and femininity. I grew up in northern Indiana knowing that I was gender diverse, but I didn't have any words. I didn't have the language. Non-binary wasn't a word I had ever even heard of until recently. So I did my very best to cope and deal with it for many years. And when I got to be my mid-30s, I decided I was just going to bury this part of myself forever. I was just going to pray it away. So I found a big church in Granger, started going there, met a young lady, and we got married about a year later. And I thought, this is going to be perfect. I'm going to be able to just put this part of my life behind me, and it's never going to be an issue anymore. Funny thing is, God doesn't let that happen. God's very good about helping us find who we really are. And the way He helped me find who I really am was I really started getting depressed. I've always been a very positive, very upbeat human being, and starting about 2016, that started changing pretty quickly for me. And I couldn't fix it. I couldn't figure it out. If you know me, you know I'm a very handy human. I love working on cars and tinkering with bikes and things like that. And so I like fixing stuff, but I couldn't fix this. So I was real lucky. I found a counselor in Elkhart who I started working with. And after a few months of talking with her, she finally said, "Steve, you have gender dysphoria." And I said, "Great, I have gender dysphoria. What the hell is gender dysphoria?" I grew up a doctor's kid, so I've always been very enamored by the human body. I cannot stand blood, so I knew I was never going to be a doctor myself, but I love doing research into it. So I started researching gender dysphoria and what this means and how does this work. And some of the research I found said that a lot of people that have gender dysphoria have body dysphoria, so their body isn't kind of the shape or style that they want it to be, and a lot of those people will use gender-affirming hormones, sometimes called hormone replacement therapy. We're not really replacing hormones, we're supplementing them, but for trans masculine people, they start taking testosterone. For trans feminine people, they start taking estrogen. I didn't want to transition to female. I had no intentions of becoming a woman, but I wanted some more feminine characteristics, especially in my body. So I went to my primary care doctor at the time and I said, "Hey doc, I've got gender dysphoria. I've been diagnosed by my therapist, and I'd like to start gender-affirming hormones." And my doctor said, no, that's not what you want, Steve. Just keep working with your counselor. They'll have you figured out, and you don't want gender-affirming hormones. So I said, well, A, goodbye, and B, now I have to find a new doctor. So I started doing some research, and I'm thinking, I'm going to end up in, Indianapolis, Chicago, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor has a gender program. I thought I'm going to end up someplace far, far, far away for medical care. And lo and behold, 6 miles down the road in Goshen, Indiana, is a doctor that says they do gender-affirming hormones. And I thought, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? And in the fall of 2017, I had my first appointment at Mosaic Health and Healing Arts with Dr. Catherine Bast. And Dr. Bast was unlike any provider I'd ever been to, and she listened as I talked for about 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, she said, "Okay." I said, "Okay, what?" She said, "Let's start on this journey, Steve. Let's see where this goes. Let's start you on a low dose of estrogen and just see what happens." And so I was super excited and super terrified at the same time. So lo and behold, 2018, I'm on estrogen. I'm trying to figure out ways to express myself without going too far. I owned a couple of retail bicycle shops in the area, and I knew that there was no way that I could fully express my gender identity in public for fear of people not accepting me, people not wanting to come do business with me, etc. So I kept it under wraps, but I was trying to find little subtle ways to express myself. Also at this time I was starting to discuss with my spouse what was going on, and being the uber conservative that she was, she said, no, Steve, you're lying to yourself, you're lying to God, you continue going down this path and you're going to burn in hell forever. I thought, wow, that sucks. I said, no, this is who I am. God created me as a diverse human being. God loves diversity. I mean, just look at creation. Why did God create 12,000 different species of ants if he didn't like diversity? All the flowers, all the birds, God loves diversity. And when people say male, female, pick one, that's not diverse. That's a very binary system. And I don't believe God lives in that binary. I believe God lives in a diverse creation. And so my spouse and I, it was hard. She didn't want me to be me. She wanted me to be somebody that I wasn't, that I had pretended to be for the first 50 years of my life. And I knew I couldn't be that person anymore, because that person was not going to survive. So 2019 was real hard. I decided to start expressing my gender a little bit more. Had some friends, Rob and Heather, who were just wonderful supporters, great friends, and Heather was in this choir, and she told me about this concert that they were doing in the fall of 2019 at South Bend Civic Theater called If You Knew Me, You'd Love Me. I thought, oh, I'm going to go to that concert. And that was the first time that I wore a skirt in public, was to come to that concert in 2019. And but that first time expressing my gender in public was terrifying and thrilling and all of the above. My spouse, again, was gaslighting me, was verbally abusing me at every moment. She plastered Bible verses all over the walls of our house while I was out of town one weekend for a conference. And I came home and just felt like this isn't a safe place for me anymore. I can't stay here, I can't stay with her. We had 2 teenage children and I didn't want to leave, but I knew I couldn't stay. So 2020 comes along and a real shitty thing happened called COVID, and it really kind of screwed up everybody's world, including mine. I owned bike shops and I couldn't get parts, I couldn't get bikes, I couldn't get help, I couldn't make money, so I'm separated from my wife. 2020 was really rough, and at the same time, I knew 2021 was going to be a new start for me. I went to see Dr. Bass for my checkup in the fall of 2020 and was talking to her about selling my businesses. And she said, good, then you come work for me now. And I said, wait, what? She said, I need an administrator. I need somebody who's good with people. I need somebody who's good with organization and things like that. She said, you come to work for me now. So, okay, let's try this. So January 2nd, 2021, I started my new job at Mosaic Health and Healing Arts as the clinical office administrator. And I've been there about 3 years now, and I absolutely love working with Mosaic and with the patients at Mosaic. If you don't know anything about Mosaic Health, Google it. We are one of the few gender-affirming clinics in the state of Indiana. We have had well over 3,000 patients come through our practice seeking gender-affirming care. One of the biggest in the state of Indiana, one of the biggest in the country, actually, ironically enough, in Little Goshen, Indiana. You wouldn't think about it, but there we are. And it's just been an absolute, pleasure to be there. Every day I can go to work and I can be Steve. I can express myself in masculine ways, in feminine ways. It doesn't matter. Nobody judges me. I just get to be me. And that is such a relief and such a blessing to do that. And I've also found new friends. I've also found support in community. I've found a new church, a couple of churches. I kind of bounce around from 2 or 3 different churches. But I've really found that I gave up a fair amount of privilege. Didn't realize how much being a cis male, heterosexual white person had privilege. I didn't realize, and I just gave up one part of that. And yeah, I spend a lot of time and energy now thinking about safe places, thinking about safe people. Where can I go? Where can I not go? How can I express myself? If I have on a skirt, can I go into that grocery store? If I have on a tank top, do I dare go to that restaurant? Yeah, it's terrifying some days, and I hate that. I hate that our society has decided that you have to be one or the other, boy or girl, pick pink or blue. Why can't we just be humans? Why can't we just be ourselves? 2023 has been very, very difficult for the LGBTQ community, especially the transgender community. Lots of bills being passed, lots of hate being spewed, lots of lies being told about us. There were groomers, and we're pedophiles, and this. I'm just Steve, a human being. Why can't I just be treated as such? Why do we have to be labeled? Why do we have to be legalized or illegalized? Yeah, the Republican committee wants to eradicate transgenderism, and I hate that word because I'm not an ism. I'm not a thought. I'm not a theology. I'm a human, and there are lots of other humans like me that believe gender is a social construct, and it is. So just let us live our lives. Through all this, I have really learned to let my true colors show. My favorite color has always been purple, and the non-binary flag, I'm real lucky, is black, white, yellow, and purple. And in the non-binary flag, the purple in the flag stands for people that are a mix of masculinity and femininity. So I just want everyone to think about their true colors and to live their true life. It's hard, but at the same time, it's so rewarding. So I just want you all to know that you all know a transgender person now. And I hope it has made an impact on you tonight. Thank you.